Hello and welcome back to my channel, and thank you for rejoining my Shattered Isle solo campaign. We left on a bit of a cliffhanger the last episode, and we were just about ready to start adventuring. We'd had a very rousing introduction by Brennan. He was waxing lyrical about this moorland that we were on, the Moor of Stones, Muirnach Clach. It's these windswept moors, boggy ridges, scattered standing stones. What a grim place. We are going to start adventuring. We're going to follow a bit of a prescriptive checklist at first. This will become a bit more natural as we get into it. I have a blank sheet of paper. I am ready to go. So let us get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll on the major terrain table 3 to 5 times. So I am going to work out, I'm going to put Adventure 1, and we're going to say this is the journey to Dun Calath. In Pictish, that means Fort of Hard Stone. So, sounds like a very formidable fortification settlement that we're going to be going to. We are going to, as I say, roll on the major terrain table 3 to 5 times. So the dominating terrain that we're going through is this moorland, but it is going to be divided into a number of discrete terrain zones. So I'm going to say the features or scenes are going to be 3 to 5. So in order to do that, I will use my d6. In fact, I will use the bone dice of the Shattered Isle. I will use that to determine how many. It's either 3, 4, 5 or 6. So let's find out how many to start with. So we are going to have 3 scenes. So it's going to be maybe a bit more constrained, this adventure, but that's fine because that'll be enough for me to show you. So it's going to be 3 scenes. And the first thing we do is, and just to give you a bit of context, each of these scenes is where the characters must traverse different types of terrain. And if we have any of these additional 5 W1H points coming up, so any of the whys, wheres, when and hows, etc., I will modify our overall framework to those, but let's see exactly what we generate. And the way we do this is that we'll go for scene 1 first. And I consult what I call my major terrain table. So if I get my major terrain table, I have this table here, and we roll to decide which large subterranean appears next, or choose for story flow. So I do have the discretion, I say to myself, but I like the random. So we're going to make everything completely random in this first adventure, and really just put it in the laps of the gods of the Picts. So I will I'll get my bone dice. Roll the bone dice for the first. So we're going to go through 3 of these. So this is the first one. And we get a 1, which is boggy moorlands. And the narrative hooks for this, it will have extensive peat bogs, sinking risk, pools, spirits, hidden relics. Now these what I call narrative hooks. I explain what this is in here. The use of narrative hooks and notes. These are there for consideration for scene development. So when I come to do the actual scene itself, I have these things at the back of my mind, and I can use these as and when I think appropriate. I might not use any of them. I might use all of them. I might use a few of them. It really depends on just really kind of how I'm feeling at the time. But at least I have this as a bit of narrative. So what I'm going to do is I say, scene 1, we have got boggy moorland. So a bit of the same, really. you know, a bit, this is classifies as basically an hour's travel to get across here. And the things that I note down as feature, as narrative, I'll put this here. We have got extensive peat bogs. So just imagine what they're like. Not too pleasant to be in. A sinking risk. So the ground is going to be very treacherous. There will be pools. And where there are pools, there could be spirits and all sorts of mysterious things. And speak of the devil, spirits. And then, maybe even hidden relics. I didn't see that bit. Yeah, hidden relics. All right. So, in our first hour of adventuring, we could be coming across all sorts of things happening. So let's go back to our major checklist again and see what we do next. And according to my checklist, we do for each scene, roll for sub-features 1d4 minus 1 and place in order on the terrain grid of 4 boxes. So basically I have this this kind of grid that I start here, and it's going to be 4 boxes. And each of these I can place terrain. So on the basis that I could have up to 3 different subterranes, and also I might have another bit of major terrain that I can put in. So say one of the ones is this has a copse, and I can place the copse. But we're almost like we're starting here. We've got to progress to here. And in the process, we have to go through these areas. And the beauty of this system is you can maybe visualize where we're going and how we're getting through it across this territory. So I'll have to make sure that I have it all in camera as well, because that otherwise it's a bit of, you won't get a chance to visualize it. So what I do now is for each scene, roll for sub-features 1d4 minus 1 and place. So this is all dependent on how many sub-features we get. We might get none, or we might get, and in fact one of the ones I think I did modify to say that I'd get at least 1, but it's probably better to say that potentially there's no sub-features. So we're going to have 3 minus 1, we're going to have 2 subterranean features. So what I can do is I can put features, and I've got ×2. And I do have a little table for that. Surprise, surprise. I have tables for everything. You are going to be bombarded by tables. So if I go to here we go. And the subterranean feature table is a staggering 1d12. So I'll get to roll on this twice, and they have little narrative things too that we can use. So let's deploy the 1d12, and the first one we're going to do is 8, and 8 is dense heather, bracken patch, and the narrative is obscure vision, slows travel, could hide creatures or items. Right, so we have got the first one, dense heather, and bracken patch, and what I could do, I could maybe decide whether I have either. I could have an area of dense heather, or maybe I have a specific bit that's a bracken patch, and that would be quite difficult to get through. It's going to maybe a bit sharp on the skin. If we've got any bare legs or anything, we could be in trouble. We might have to actually circumvent that and get round. And our other feature is going to be 8, and that is that's dense heather again. So we're saying we're not going to have the same one again. We're going to have one. We got, hidden bog pools, quicksand, oh dear, treacherous footing, risk of sinking, slows travel, could hide relics or spirits. Okay, so yeah, so I have got my second one, which is hidden bog pools and quicksand. Now, you probably heard me saying, well, actually, I was a bit confused. Do I have either of these, or do I have both? And what I can do is I can maybe put this to the oracle and say, do I have dense heather and bracken, or do I just have bracken? Let's do that. And if I get a no, it means that we're going to have both. So if I just consult my oracle prompt for guidance, and it says no, so we're going to have both. So what I can do is I can actually place that on the map. So I get my D4 for that, and I say dense heather and bracken is going to be here. So we're going to have areas of dense heather all the way across here, and bracken interspersed with areas of bracken. So this really is quite treacherous to get through. So when we actually approach this bit, I can do a bit of narrative on that. So that places our first terrain feature, and our second terrain feature, again, hidden bog pools and quicksand. Do we have both in this? I ask the oracle, I consult with the oracle. I do not use a D4 with the oracle, I use my bone dice. And it says, do we have both? And it says yes, an emphatic yes. So we do have bog pools and quicksand. And also I asked the oracle, are they actually in the same place, or are they in different places? So I will say, are they in the same zone? And let's see what the oracle says. And it says yes, they are in the same zone. So again, see, the oracle, it's just takes away the pain of having to try to work out things. The oracle tells me what to do. So let's find out exactly where we are. So we come across them first. So we have got hidden bog pools all over this. Okay. And maybe some areas of quicksand. And that is the area that we're going to be coming to first. But before we do anything, and before we actually move out into this region, what we're going to do is consult what we do next in my little checklist. And it is, so for each scene, roll for sub-features and place in order on the terrain grid of 4 blocks. So that's what we've done. So we've got our hidden bog pools and quicksand in this region. We're back to just general boggy moorlands here. We get into an area of dense heather and bracken patches. And then we're back into boggy moorlands before we move on to the next. So this is what we've got to navigate. It's a very difficult thing. We draw these features on the mini-map and also place any relevant major features such as streams. Well, we didn't have them. We've just got boggy moorlands. Each of these scenes represent 1 hour's travel under optimum conditions and will increase elapsed time with complications or obstacles. So I would say that we've got a very high risk of having an increase in our time. So say we are at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We should get to 5 o'clock, we should be on the other side. We will roll on the weather table if triggered with a 4 to 6 roll. So I will get the bone dice out. On a 4 to 6, we will consult the weather table. We do not consult the weather table. So I will put that here, weather And what Brennan was saying in his introduction was basically the rain had just stopped. I think that's what he said. Yeah, just storm clouds. The wind is picking up, so it's getting a bit more nasty. Probably we're expecting to have it to be quite a nasty night. We can draw on the abilities of Necht, who is our storm caller, and she's saying, yes, I think that we're okay for this coming hour. I do not see anything untoward apart from these storm clouds look hostile. And she would probably say it a bit like that. And if I forgot to use my Scottish accent, she would probably say it like that. Storm clouds are not a problem as of yet. The next thing we're going to determine is I'm going to roll on my setting features check, and on a 6, and then consult that table. So there is a slim chance that I have what is called a settings feature. So if I roll a 6, we do. So we don't. Now I'm going to do a success when necessary to see if they achieve their immediate goal. And before we head out, I just have a quick survey of what we've actually got to get through. We've got these hidden bog pools and quicksand. So I would say that is a significant obstacle. And it's whether the characters, as they approach this, we've got them coming in here, the little avatars appearing. They have to come into here and they're thinking, right, is this a bit of a change? Do we kind of notice this type of thing? I would say let's put that one to the oracle and say, do the characters notice that the terrain's changed slightly and it's looking slightly more dangerous? So I'll get my oracle out for me, and let's see what the answer of the oracle is. And it says unclear, interpret freely, roll additional table, or narrate complication. So I would say that the characters aren't quite sure. They're just going to proceed on regardless. So in that case, if that is the case and they're not showing any more caution and they're just proceeding on with the basis of trying to get across this terrain as quickly as possible, maybe they are not keeping their eyes peeled for potential quicksand and that type of thing. So I would say that we're going to have to get a success roll to do. Let's see how we get on to get across this area. So if I get my success table up and running, this is here. Yep, experience die. So I will roll my d6 on that. And do I think there's any modifications that we can make? Maybe if we look at the characters, have they got anything that would help them in this regard, crossing this type of terrain? No, they haven't really got anything specific. Like Necht is trained as a spearman. Maybe we could rely on cunning as being just a bit, using almost like a kind of streetwise ability out in the wild. Maybe Kayla, because she's got such a high cunning. Maybe she should get a plus for that. Let's roll the dice first and just see how we get on. So we'll roll a d6, and it is a 6. So that means on the outcome, exceptional success, travel is effortless or clever, major advantage, resource discovered, or key insight gain. So in terms of travel, we managed to not glide through this, but we really we must be able to navigate any of the peat bogs and any of the bog pools, and we don't fall for any of the areas of quicksand. So probably what Kayla's saying is, she's saying, make sure you watch out your footing. I have ascertained that some of this area is a bit dangerous, I think we should proceed with a bit more caution, but I see a path heading out before me, and they seem to have succeeded in that. What we can do also is maybe do an event, an experience die, just to see how they get on, see how they feel about this. And that's a 2. Unsettling. So it is probably the atmosphere is a bit claustrophobic. It's unpleasant. There's probably not very nice smells here, with these pools, maybe stagnant water. And so what they're trying to do is almost like to channel themselves into a safer path, and probably keep us quite a tight unit, so that if one of them strays off the path, that Kayla's kind of almost a path found for them, they make sure that they're within a grasp reach. Of course, they do have Garnet with his ability, with the fact that he was able to, he's probably quite good. If anybody starts drowning in one of these pools, he can employ the drowning grip. he can maybe get his spear out, and they can use that. But it doesn't look as though we're actually in that situation. And whether we think there should be any form of event, I would say let's look back at what this sub-feature had in its hooks. And this was the hidden bog pools. Treacherous footing, so I think we've tested for that. The risk of sinking, slow travel. I would say that there probably is a bit of slowing for that, and it's maybe probably say added on about plus 50% to our travel. So I'll just make a note of that. So that's probably going to increase our time a bit. We've had to probably navigate it quite carefully. Could hide relics or spirits. We haven't really come across anything that would maybe generate that, so I'm not really going to maybe major on that. Although what that is telling me is maybe I should be trying to use a bit of an event roll and see whether anything actually happens. Yeah, that might be quite useful. Yeah. Or should I think we've been in these pools long enough. I think we should just head on out and get into this area. So we move out of this and we successfully navigate under the leadership of Kayla, who actually took charge there and said, right, this is the way we need to go. We get into the next area of Boggy Moorland. It doesn't seem to be infested by any particular of the subterranean. We can just head on through there. Again, what I'm going to do is I'll just roll a success die to see how we get on, and just give us a bit of flavour. And because it's standard terrain, I'm going to add a 1 onto this for our success. So yeah, that sounds like we're going to be doing fine. Strong success, party moves efficiently, morale boosted, a small reward or insight gained. So Kayla's feeling quite good about herself. She's thinking, yes, I'm proving myself as potentially the leader. The rest of them are falling into far behind. We're heading through this area here. We do reach a bit of an impasse now because we've come up against some dense heather and bracken patches. Right, so what's going to happen? I would say that we've got to do a bit of navigation to get through these things, or what's going to happen is we're going to be quite heavily delayed. This could be causing us a bit of trouble. So what we're going to do, let us roll all the 3 dice. We're going to have the event die and the experience die. Let's do success and experience first and see how we get on. So we've got the actual success is 5. So this is a strong success. We do actually move efficiently through this. That is good. 4 is on the experience. It is encouraging. We have a small morale boost or inspiration. We do feel quite safe despite the actual territory being quite unpleasant. Is the event dice going to be our undoing? That is the question. Let's see what we get. So we get a 4 on the event. And on the event dice, 4 is a minor positive. There's a small opportunity, hint, or minor omen, encouraging exploration. All right, so maybe I can do. Let's ask the question to the oracle. Should I roll on the omens table? And we'll ask the oracle for that. We'll do the yes no oracle, which is the one I want to use first. Yeah, it's here. So should we take an omen from this? 3. Unclear, interpret freely, roll additional table, or narrate. So I think we should do an omen, and I do have an omen table. So let's have a look at that. And probably what you're noticing is I can be quite free form with what I'm doing. I'm really just trying to find my way, almost like find my way through this bog myself, and see what the right way of using the tables are. And I'll probably get into a bit of a rhythm and get more natural with it. But let's give us a shot just now. So what we're going to do is roll on our omen table, and we roll a d6. And we get, all right. So a stag watches silently. Right. So we are proceeding through this. We are actually quite positive. We're being well led by Kayla in this respect. We are negotiating these heather areas, the dense heather. Any of the bracken patches we are managing to negotiate and get past quite efficiently and successfully, and we do feel that we're actually learning from our experience and gaining a bit of insight in how to get across this territory, and we're going to be doing this efficiently, so we're not going to lose any time like we did with the bog pools and the quicksand. So I'm going to say that's a plus 0%. We also did this efficiently too. We might just be going up by maybe say 15-20 minutes in total at this rate. This stag is watching silently. So what probably Kayla notices, because she's got the spirit, high spirit, and the cunning, and she says, "Oh, quiet! Do you not see that creature in the distance? It is a stag." And Nex says, "Yes, I recognize that. It is a good omen, this. It portends to good things. We are on the right path. I feel good. Good in my soul." And Garnet says, "I agree. I think that is a good thing for us. We need a bit of luck, certainly in my experience." So the stag watches and then it disappears. And as I said, our characters take that as a good sign, a good omen. And with this role-playing that I'm going to be doing, all sorts of our encounters, not every one of them, but many of them are going to have some form of interpretative and almost mythical connotation, magical or mysterious. If I did it for everything, it would become a bit blasé. I'm going to try and kind of tease it out. There's still a lot of grounding in actual gritty reality in this world, but there is a lot of mystery. There's a lot of, in touch with our spiritual side. Okay, so we have reached the end of this bit. Let's see if there's anything. One thing that I might want to do is just check on anything here in the overall narrative. Sinking risk, extensive peat bogs. Yep. And hidden bog pools. It looks as though we're past the main things. So I would say we negotiate that okay, and we're through into this area, and we probably don't really have anything much more to trouble us. We could probably get through this area okay. There's no real features in front of us, and Kayla says, "Right, I think we are approaching the end of this particular phase. I can see into the into the next scene. There is something approaching in the distance, a different type of terrain for us to negotiate. Let us find out together what it is. So I think I see that we are approaching the witching hour. That did take a while, I know, and it took a bit of time for us to negotiate that. But hopefully that will show you some of the ground rules that I'm using. These tables, used in conjunction and at times, will generate different situations. They will also spawn other reactions that I have to negotiate with and I have to accommodate, and I can weave into the narrative. From the point of view of a little mini story that we've had, this is one scene. We've got another two to come. I'll try to do the same on the next one. Who knows what we'll come across? We could come across completely different terrain. It will be grounded in the overall terrain type, the fact that we're crossing this moorland, but we've already had a bit of variety. There was a bit of danger here. We managed to get through successfully under Kayla's leadership. She managed to guide us through these very dangerous or potentially dangerous bog pools and any areas of quicksand. The majority of this area is just standard moorland, but again, this could have been quite treacherous for us to get through. This dense heather and bracken patches. If we had fallen, we could have ended up in a nasty, maybe a slight defile. It could be full of bracken, and we could have had all sorts of cuts and grazes. And then we would have been calling on Kayla once again with her healing abilities and get her salves out. And then we had, some of our characters and how they could contribute to it. The fact that all of them could probably have some form of input. The fact that Necht has got the storm caller, she managed to say, look, I am confident that the weather is not going to change for the next hour or so. I think we can proceed at a reasonable pace. Okay, well, I enjoyed that session. Hopefully you got an idea of just where I'm coming from, and you can follow this journey with me. With each episode, it's probably going to go a bit of a faster pace as I build up momentum and I get more used to using my tables and actually using them on camera. If you could imagine, if you were doing this maybe on your own, you could sit down and take as much time as you wanted and consider. I am maybe not blessed with that opportunity, the fact that I've got to narrate and explain something and try to do it within my 30-minute kind of time scale. So I don't have maybe all the opportunities to actually go off into tangents and explore. But in some ways that actually is quite a useful discipline, is that I have to accommodate to a time constraint, and that focuses my mind and I can keep the action moving, and I'm not going to be sucked into detail. We did have one little highlight. We had the stag that appeared and it was watching, and that will be taken as a good omen. And what I can do is I can factor in the positivity that the characters get, and probably a morale boost, and they think, yes, we have. They might actually have a boon that we can take into some of the other scenes as they come forward in this actual mini adventure, and have as some favourable roll to the dice that we can apply. And remember, we've always got a few other things, tricks up our sleeve. We do have these luck items that we can deploy, and I was saying that maybe each character can maybe use up to 1 luck per adventure. Also, we do have, remember Urad of the Iron Ford, we can call on him once on an adventure, for a bit of guidance or maybe a bit of help. Yeah, we've got a few other, as I say, other things up our sleeves that maybe we can draw on special items of lore to help us out. Okay, well, I think that's enough for today. I enjoyed that experience. I hope you liked it too, and you want to sign up for a bit more and come back for more Shattered Isle action. We've still got two more terrain areas to get across. Let's find out exactly what they are and whether they are going to throw up any major obstacles for our characters to negotiate. Potentially some rather nasty encounters out in the wilderness. Do we want to come across those in the next few? I doubt it. I think we really just want to get to this stronghold and rest and get on with the adventure and move on to probably a different set of tables to do with the settlement. Okay, I have talked and rambled enough. If there was a table for me stopping, I would probably roll a 6 in it, and that would be, yes, Brian, you stop now. Thank you very much for watching this one, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.